Scorpio, hi. So this is going to be a reading for mid-April 2025. And I'll do the reading for you and then I'll close it off with a oracle card. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended at the end of the video. You can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Let's see, Scorpio. All right, the overall energy for the reading, the Hermit. There could be a lot of going inward for you type of an energy at this moment in time. I think it's recommended from what I'm seeing here. But let's see. Starting off the reading, you get the 8 of Swords crossed by the 10 of Wands. Yeah, you're dealing with something very, very difficult that keeps your mind occupied there with thoughts, a lot of thoughts. Okay. And your focus, the 3 of Wands, it's because you have to wait for something to happen or you're kind of in standby. So, of course, so it's going to leave a lot of time for your mind to, be in overdrive there. In the recent past, the Queen of Cups, you were more aligned with your heart there. In your strength, the King of Wands, you still have an energy of, you know what, I got this, at least on the surface. So if I were to meet you on the street and be like, okay, well, this Scorpio doesn't seem concerned with anything, if I would see that King of Wands, because that's what you're presenting. But in all reality, for you, you're stressed out about something. In the immediate future, the Page of Wands. I mean, if that's a facade of, hey, I'm doing good, I'm doing great, I'm fine, it's not gonna last for long. So I kind of see it dropping a little bit, kind of like I'm exhausted here to put up this face that everything's fine when everything's not fine. At least in the creation of your mind, it's not fine. Supporting this reading, the 2 of Wands. Yeah, you gotta wait for something. I don't know what it is, but you're getting closer and closer to the timeline of wherever this needs to bring you. The energy surrounding you that you may not be aware of, the 4 of Pentacles. And you're really, really stubborn about something too, which I'm not surprised. You are a fixed sign at the end of the day. In your hopes and fears, the 7 of Swords. You know how sometimes you wait for something to happen that you are so connected to and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for that to happen, but I know it's going to happen later. But then in that waiting time, you start to develop a little bit of fear that what if this is, with time passing, what if I'm not interested in this in the way that I used to be when it all started, and I'm not going to want this. I'm going to lose my interest. What am I going to do? So I kind of get the sense that you're a little scared that that's going to happen, that at some point you're going to be like, fuck this shit, and then you're out. And for the potential outcome, the 7 of Cups. Yeah, this is an energy of moving on. So you could be getting to that place of, you know what, how much longer am I going to wait here? I'm done waiting. Okay. Let's clarify. Let's do the Hermit. The High Priestess, the Ace of Pentacles, the Star. See, you're doing good here. When I look inward there with you, I'm like, you're pursuing something. You got a goal. Everything's good as long as you stay connected to yourself there, which you're not. You're staying connected to your mind a lot. But inward there, in the bigger picture of things, as long as you stay in the present moment, you should be good. All right, let's see what takes you out of there. For the 8 of Swords, you get the 8 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, a redundant conversation. That's what's going to take you out of the present moment. Because it's like you hear something or you see something or, something, a message, or I don't know what it is. But you come out of it with the sense of, what the fuck was that? Or it leaves so much room for interpretation, what's been said to you or done in your direction, that you're gonna go wild in interpreting this shit, you know? So it's not a clear type of a message that comes your way, and then it leads you into the Eight of Swords energy, which confuses the hell out of you even more. And there's a lesson behind that message. It could be something like, maybe you should take it as it is. You know, what's been said has been said in the way that's been said, and that's that. Stop interpreting or trying to think there's a hidden message there somewhere, because maybe it's not. There's a hidden lesson in there, but I don't know if you might miss it from what it looks like. For the 10 of Wands, you get the 7 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the 6 of Cups. Okay, so it has to do with a potential partnership, whatever the hell this is. That's the thing. Is it it sucks, that's what it is, because it does leave room for interpretation. So it's not something set in stone, but the interpretation takes you into a place of, so does this mean that this partnership is gonna conclude somehow, somebody's leaving or not? Or if they're staying, are they gonna be the same, or something's gonna... So there's a lot of things that are unclear here. Well, if this message has been brought to you and you're in this pickle about it, why don't you ask? You know, ask for clarity. Like, hey, what did you mean when you say blah, 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 blah? Because I don't want to assume, which you already have, by the way. Who knows what? Like, I really want to understand exactly, so that we're on the same page here, at least about this message, so that I understand what you were trying to say here. So why don't you ask? If you're the one that sent out the message, that whatever this is that confused the hell out of whatever, make it more clear. You know, like, hey, just in case that wasn't super clear, because I kind of get the feeling that it wasn't. This is what I meant with that. This is what I meant with that. This, that, and the other. You know? Because look at this pickle here. We got a pickle from a little bit of who knows what. For the 3 of Wands, in your focus, you get the Queen of Wands, the 2 of Cups, the Emperor. And meanwhile, you're waiting. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's just something to happen here. But you're very hopeful as you're waiting, which is not a bad energy. Hopeful is good. You know, it depends on how hopeful and where are you going with that story of hopeful. Because if you're going too far, then you've disconnected from the reality of things. But you're not there. You're not there. You're just hopeful. Okay. This almost looks like one of those situations in which, let's say, you know, you and a friend, right, talk about, make some... You don't really make plans. That's the problem. You say at some point, hey, we should go on a trip towards the end of the year, maybe to Hawaii or something. And the way you took that, no, because you're the one that said that. We're friends and you told me that. And the way I take that is, oh my God, okay, well, I got a plan, I gotta, you know, and for me, it's like I'm already looking into booking, into all of everything of... and you just said it like that, like you didn't really mean it or something. So it's like, it's two very different stories at that point. Because I'm like, okay, well, it's fucking September. Like, we're getting close to the end of the year and I haven't heard shit from Scorpio anymore. And it's like, were they joking or were they... But I don't ask you, hey, you know, do you mean that? Like, are we planning actually the trip, or are you just saying that? Or, you know, like, because apparently... I wouldn't give a shit, in all honesty, personally. I would definitely not plan. But that could be a situation in between two people where there's lack of clarity, and then one gets to establish this whole planning around it and this whole story about it, and they put all of their hopes and everything into that because, oh my god, I can't wait. Well, the other one is like, no, just, I was just saying, like, we don't have to. So you see how that leaves a lot of room for interpretation, and so make it clear here, because meanwhile you're waiting here hopeful, but I don't know. Let's do the King of Wands in your strength. You get the you get doves. You get the Queen of Swords, the Hangman, the Seven of Cups. Like it you do carry a sense of, hey, let's just wait it out. Let's just wait it out and see what happens. You're very determined to kind of go with that. But at the same time, there's still this, but I gotta plan out. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Like, I need to at least know a little bit, if that's, So there's still the anxiousness of planning things out, or, sorting through things. You're not, I think you're doing good with it overall. It's just this little pickle that was the actual conversation of, hey, let's just do that. Oh, okay, goodbye. And then I start planning and you don't give a shit. So that's just how the message was received and potentially interpreted. That's the pickle. But how you're handling it all through this waiting for it, I think you're doing pretty good. There's still that anxiousness about, hey, I need to know a little more, so that I know how to proceed. For the most part, you're keeping yourself in the present and with a hopeful attitude that, hey, we're going to go to Hawaii. For the Page of Wands, in the immediate future, you get the Knight of Swords, the Two of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, and again, as you're getting closer and closer, you're kind of losing that hope that, maybe it's not going to happen. And I feel like you're stepping into that energy from that angle of, well, it may not happen. So kind of releasing all sorts of expectations over it, which feels actually a little better that you do. Because when you're in this planning mode and expectation of it and whatever it is, it seems to be quite pressing for you. And then when you release yourself from it, you seem to be free, from, okay, well, let's just go with the flow at the end of the day and let's see what happens. And whatever happens, I'm good, you're good, type of deal. For the Two of Wands in the supportive energies, you get the Moon, the Five of Wands, the Four of Swords. You're a little pissed off though. Because I feel like, again, you're getting close to that end of the year when it's supposed to happen and it's not happening. And it's like, okay, I did say that I'm releasing all sorts of expectations and all of that, and I'm good. But like underneath, like deep down, I see you a little bit pissed off, being like, oh, motherfucker, you promised me Hawaii and now, are you fucking kidding? Okay. But it's shown up as something handleable in the sense of it's a little ridiculous, especially when you're coming from a place of, I have no expectations, but you're a little pissed off that it didn't pan out, but you're not there yet at the end of the year, so you're still kind of in this waiting. You're getting closer though, so that's where you're like, they got my hopes up. For the Four of Pentacles in the hidden energies, you get the Three of Swords, the Three of Cups, the Nine of Cups. Why? I don't know what kind of a dynamic this is, if it's a friendship, if it's more than that, if it's just someone you're working with, I don't know what it is. But it's looking to be doing pretty well. For the most part, it's looking to be going pretty well. But the problem is, when something like this happens, it's kind of like, strike. It's noted as a strike. And for some reason, you're hanging on to those. If they upset you, even if it's for a split second here, you're gonna put that in your little toolbox of strikes. Okay, strike one, strike two. I don't know how many you got up until this point, but it just builds up into something nasty. And even though this connection seems to be working just fine, those strikes count. It's gonna make it look a little not fine down the road, because there's gonna be strikes. Everybody fucks up one way or another at some point, you know. So I don't know if you have a little bag of strikes, but that's kind of how it shows up here. Aw, two doves, two fluffy doves. For the Seven of Swords in your hopes and fears, you get the Ace of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the World card. Yeah, you're bailing on this plan. If nothing comes up ever again out of this situation that seems to be redundant to begin with, you're the one that's gonna say, okay, well, I feel like this is the end of the year, and you're like, okay, so it's not happening, so fuck this shit. I'm out. Even if this plan comes back around, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so you are getting there. Let's do the Seven of Cups. In the potential outcome, you get the Devil, the Six of Swords, the Judgment card. You could be distancing yourself more and more from whoever this is based off of the strike bag or, you know, the situation in particular. Which is not great. The situation still lacks clarity. And it started from a place of lack of clarity. And nobody stopped and asked during the creation of that lack of clarity, hey, what do you mean when you say blah, 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 blah? What, you know, so something is unclear from the get-go as this comes in and forms as an energy, and none of the two parts are jumping in there to kind of clarify things. And look at where it leads. The bag of strikes, the fuck this shit, the I'm a little pissed off with you, but I'm not going to tell you. You know, all sorts of things that it builds up to the eventual point of, I'm just going to go away because nobody's going to notice that I'm gone here. So, is that worth it? Is that depending on the situation, of course. But again, from what I can see, the situation looks to be going just fine. It just has these little strikes here and there, apparently. And sometimes lack of clarity, which can be resolved right there and then. But no, let's let it simmer and let's assume it's not going to create any issues. Luck. Let's see what the universe has. I knew this, but okay. From the universe, you get the Queen of Swords, the Ten of Swords, the Temperance card. You're like, I've been done with this for a very long time. I've had it with this. With what? With not asking for clarity? With what? But okay, you're done. I've been done. Oh, okay. You've been done. Let's do the Witch Oracle. You got two flying out, but we'll do this. Pick a side. I'm feeling this one. Okay. The Story Keeper, number 2. All right. You're made of moonlight and stories. The night and the trees know this, which is why when you need a change in your narrative, you would do well to seek their counsel. Some stories lift us up and encourage our potential, our inherent magic. Other stories limit, diminish, or destroy our worth. You are being asked right now to consider which stories you are listening to and which ones you are telling. Telling yourself a story of empowerment will bring a surge of energy to you. Notice how your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, your heart warms. Telling yourself a story of scarcity or disempowerment leaves you tight, small, and cramped. While we are very selective about the books we read and the stories we watch on film, we are far less selective about the stories we tell ourselves. Now is the time to question the narratives you're allowing into your ear, into the ear of your spirit. Are they helpful or hurtful? A witch acknowledges her stories of lack and frustration, but she chooses to focus on the one that nurture her vitality. The stories in our heads. But anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.